Conservation is a word on everybody's lips. From students to politicians, using less energy is an agreed upon goal. In Ontario, the government has even created a conservation bureau. Still, some of the worst offenders are public buildings. Investigative reporter Stavros Rougas sets out to see if Sheridan College gets a passing grade on its energy conservation report card. Take this simple light bulb. Leave it on for 10 hours. You've just burned 1,000 kilowatts of electricity and added almost 300 kilograms of CO2 into the air. It takes one tree over 80 years to take this amount of CO2 out of the environment. Want conservation? Just turn off that light. So it's as simple as turning out lights when done. Maybe easy to do at home, but in institutions, like here at Sheridan College, that requires a change in policy. And in a place that serves over 10,000 students, policies do not come quickly. Also, electricity is expensive. Sheridan spends $2.5 million a year alone on energy. That's 2% of the overall budget of the school. With the help of the Conservation Bureau, Ontario colleges have established an energy secretariat to confront bad energy habits.
The secretariat is designed to centralize the function that would keep track of all the energy matters that affect the colleges.
That's Lori Trawortha, who heads up the secretariat. He says one of the first steps to conservation is replacing old light fixtures.
Some of the old technology that they were using, with today's technology, the energy use has been dropped by over 30%.
How long does it take for new light fixtures to pay for themselves?
Lighting typically will run about a year, and if you get a little more exotic on the control side, it can probably stretch out to 2 years.
So just how well is Sheridan College doing in conserving energy? There is progress. One of the new buildings under construction will be certified as a leadership in energy and environmental design. Only 60 such buildings exist in Canada. But back inside the old buildings, Sheridan is barely getting a passing grade. As head of facilities management, Brian Scannell is responsible for the college's 30,000 light bulbs.
Whenever we do a project, whenever the maintenance staff or we repair or we got to replace a motor or anything that's going on, we naturally look at the energy to get the most efficient.
Scannell says regular maintenance to light fixtures this year alone will save 18% off the cost of running lights. That's $30,000 to $40,000. But he says there are other budgetary pressures.
Shall we put $3 million into energy conservation and get a 8-year payback? And at the same time, we have students, or we have people that want to enroll in the college, and you need another space for another 1,000 students. According to Scannell, it costs big bucks now to save in the future. But is that the only way to end energy waste? This video here was shot after 12, between 12 and 1 on a Saturday night, Sunday morning here on the campus. Yeah, in this one we've got the library, obviously with the full lighting on a time when the college is clearly closed for the next many hours. Other areas of the college here, this is in the skate building. The lights are on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So about 44% of the time, the library is actually closed. That's 93 hours a week of lighting. Is there a current initiative to do something about that? It is a waste just to have the lights on for no reason. We have to continue our program by doing basically simple things. To do that job would probably cost us a couple $1,000s to put the light switch in.
That's right, the library doesn't have a light switch. In the larger scale of things, is a couple $1,000s, is that very much with considering the potential cost savings of?
No, I wouldn't say so. I would not say so. I'd say that it's well worth the money just to have it rather than let it sit there. There's no question.
Is there a policy directive that says that cleaning staff is to turn out lights after completing cleaning?
I would say that they've been verbally instructed to do that.
We went to Sue Gilbert, Sheridan's manager of security and parking, to see if this is the case.
There is no policy that says, you must turn lights off if there's no one in a room. They have standing orders, and there's nothing in the standing orders that say that. So it's fairly random. If an officer, say, would come into this room, see the lights on, I'm gone home, they can choose to turn the lights on or off.
So Sheridan has no policy. We asked Ganel who is in charge of making such a policy.
Facilities management, myself.
This speaks to the overall challenge of making best practices in conservation a reality.
Policies are one thing, but it's mostly the mindset to say, well, I'm going to turn off the light. So we can put the policy, that's one thing, and you keep after the people with the policy. But I think a much greater challenge is to have the staff and have everybody into an energy conservation modes.
Building a culture of conservation is far more difficult than replacing light bulbs. Its long-term benefits are hard to sell in the short term. But until Sheridan College learns to turn off the lights, this Institute of Higher Learning gets a failing grade in energy conservation.